RPGaDay 2018. It's day 5, and the question today is, who's your favourite reoccurring non-player character or NPC? So the players, they each have, normally in a game, only one character. And they play that character. Anybody else in the world, anybody they bump into, from a local barman to somebody that they're going to end up fighting against, to the main villain, to anybody that they bump into in the street, basically, is going to be a non-player character. And that comes down to the person running the game, has to be that person. So yesterday I talked about Mikey the cat and Mrs. Stanhope, who were two of the most memorable non-player characters from the last campaign I ran. Today, reoccurring NPCs. And a lot of my campaigns tend to be journeys. They tend to move the players from one place to another. So my Conan campaign, they've been all over the place. They've crossed hundreds and hundreds of miles, which means there aren't that many people that they've met more than once or twice. My Al-Qadin Arabian Nights campaign was very similar in that respect. So, again, I'm looking at the last campaign I ran, the Call of Cthulhu campaign. And although that was set in London, actually there weren't that many people that they met repeated times. There were a couple of people in the British Museum that they kept coming back to, but not that many people that they kept meeting. One of the exceptions to this, the one I'm going to talk about, was probably my favourite on the grounds of how he came into being. So he was a guy called Roland Smith, Constable Roland Smith. He was a Met Police bobby, uniform, and right, really early on in the game, they bumped into a policeman at the British Museum who'd been left behind by D.I. Partridge to keep an eye on a murder scene. So they ended up talking to him, and somebody asked me, I can't remember who it was, what his number was. And I thought, I have no idea. I know policemen have numbers, but I have no idea what this guy's is. So I picked up 3 10-sided dice, rolled them, and we came up with 851. And thus the legend of PC 851 was born. He turned up lots of times until he eventually went missing. I must explain why he went missing to the characters at some point, to the players at some point. He went missing and presumed murdered eventually. But they'd go back and track down PC 851 and get him to do things. And he just became a kind of constant for quite a long time in the campaign. But it was, I think, had I just given him a name, it wouldn't have been really remembered or anything else. We didn't even know his name for about the first 4 or 5 times they met him. It was just PC 851. But he kept coming back, and he ended up with a bit of a personality. And the players were quite attached to him. They were definitely very disturbed when he suddenly vanished, and various other things happened at the same time, but they focused quite heavily on what the hell had happened to PC 851. So I think that's probably my favourite reoccurring NPC. And one of the things that trying to answer this question has done is made me think, in the next couple of campaigns that I run, I need to have more NPCs that come back again and again and again, and that the players have long-term relationships with, because that's probably something I'm not very good at doing. So, okay. I'll see you for day 6 tomorrow.